These rotten piles of sugarcane are months of hard labor and investment gone to waste, destroyed not by forces of nature but apathy. For Sibusiso Mtshali, a small farmer in KwaDingindlovu, survival is difficult, like a hopeless adventure.
Thina-ke ngayindlela okusebenzeka ngayo kuyacaca ukuthi umuntu omnyama nje akekho.
His plight is not isolated. There are thousands of cane growers working on communal land and marginal land reforms still awaiting a support system to pull them out of their historical disadvantage. In this case, their produce is rotten due to alleged differential treatment.
Our black trucks have been parked, and we can see white trucks coming in and out of the mill as they please. So there's a tractor that's been parked from yesterday, and you can only imagine what does it mean to that cane that is parked here. What does it mean to the owner of the truck? The reality is, until we have a solid black voice, we will never realize change.
Sifiso Mnguni has picked up the cudgels on behalf of these farmers. He believes that 24 years after liberation, race still makes the small-scale cane grower subject to exploitation.
It took me forever in my life to understand how the apartheid system was allowed to persist for so many years, yet it was so obviously wrong.
The South African Cane Growers Association is authorized by the Sugar Act of 1978 to receive 100% of the growers' levies. This money, meant to help the small farmers, is given to them by the South African Sugarcane Association. The emerging farmers, who happen to be mostly black, feel Cane Growers Association does not serve their interests, favoring the dominant white farmers instead.
You hear people talking about this SA cane growers been representing cane growers for whatever. It is untrue.
Long brewing discontent has forced these farmers to raise their voices. They want a union of their own, a union that works with them and for them, to ensure they have access to the money they desperately need and deserve.
We need our levies from so-called South African cane growers, which was formulated by white monopoly capitalists. So these levies have been taken from us for decades. If I may say, fraudulently.
Last year, the conflict came to a head. Department of Trade and Industry had to be called in to mediate. The DTI is convinced that the outcry for a new union is legitimate. It has instructed the South African Sugar Association to amend its constitution to acknowledge SAFTA as a legitimate industry body. But Cane Growers Association refuses to let go of its dominance.
SA Cane Growers Association hates the word transformation with everything they have. As we speak, they are spending every little cent they have to hire senior legal counsel, no matter how much they cost, even if it was not on budget, just to make sure that they fight against transformation.
What is being proposed here by SAFTA is to go back to the past. It's to rewind the clock. It's to undo that transformation that is detailed in the accomplishment in Annexes 31 and 32.
This year, 57 million has been collected in levies. This money can go a long way to make life as a cultivator easy for Sibusiso and 90% of the farmers that contribute to this fund. The Department of Trade and Industry instructed South African Sugarcane Association to share the levies equally between the warring factions till the matter is resolved. 1 year later, the dissatisfied farmers still do not have access to their monies.
It was just a white-only meeting, I must say, but they're becoming frequent. I could see the guys, around, and then I'm not part of that, but I'm still here in the office. But what is even said about it is that the content of some of those meetings, because I got used to seeing them in the office without me being involved, knowing that I should be part of that meeting.
SACA is flaunching an apartheid-era act to maintain and defend the status quo. Sugar Act of 1978 recognizes the South African Sugar Association as the body that can deduct levies from the farmers and then distribute it to recognized farmers' associations. Courtesy of this provision, the South African Cane Growers Association gets all the levies meant for the growers. Black marginal farmers say the established farmers that dominate SACA are shutting them out. SACA dismisses the efforts to break free as anarchy.
To us, they're anarchists who are wanting to destroy our organization and the unity of growers. If there's something that we don't offer and they could be offering, then that would be great. We would be fully supportive of their efforts to do it.
I only learned that when I came to cane growers, to realize that actually they managed to get it away with it because they just don't care. They just do it. No matter who says what, they just don't care.
Cane Growers is committed to continuing the journey of transformation. We need to continue working at it and transforming and evolving, and we're doing our level best to do that.
This is an organization that uses blacks only for sessions such as this. I wasn't shocked when I saw 3 blacks sitting here and only 2 whites, or 1 white or 2 sitting on the side, because this is what we were there for. We are going to be used for sessions such as this, window dressing.
Sfiso Mguni should know what he's talking about. He was once on the board of Cane Growers Association but quit in frustration. He says he was tired of being used for window dressing.
I can remember very well a time when we had to meet with the Department of Economic Development, and I was told a few days before the meeting that you are part of the delegation to go and see the department. And I asked, do I have to prepare anything for presentation? He said, no, don't worry. The presentation has already been done, it's gone. You just come dressed in your best suit and tie, just like I'm dressing now. But the difference now is that I'm given a chance to speak. There I was told I was not supposed to do anything, just come dressed in your best suit and tie. An insult, I took that as an insult.
Largely a white farmers association, SACA steadfastly refutes all charges of lack of transformation in their ranks. They argue it is in fact the creation of a rival small farmer association that would destroy transformation.
We have a federation of growers all represented under one body. To argue otherwise is nonsensical.
As multiple parties claim and fight to champion their cause, farmers like Sbusiso find themselves caught in the crosshairs. The withering of crops continues, and so does the blame game.
Owethu moba uma nje uze uphelelwe amandla ngoba nosesemeni ushayiwe ulele phansi nalo la emshinini ke awuthathwa kodwa ke inkampani ezinkulu zabamhlophe zona zithi ifika nje zibe ingena la ngoba kuthiwa bona bane allocation enkulu thina ke ngayindlela okusebenzeka ngayo kuyacaca ukuthi umuntu omnyama nje akekho.
Black contractors are sabotaged deliberately so that they can be shown to be failures. Their trucks are kept here waiting almost the whole day, which means that they can't go back to pick up the more cane from the zones. It's for everyone to know that in this country, this industry it's designed to keep the status quo of white supremacy and continue enlarging the inequality gap.
The sad thing is that they are using black growers as money to fight black growers, which is quite sensitive. It's quite an insult.
All efforts towards recognition frustrated, the farmers were once again forced to knock on the government's door. Back at the parliament, they pleaded for help.
we're here to ask one thing, that 1994 came. For whatever reason, good or bad, the sugar industry did not emigrate. When all of us transformed from the pre-1994 to post-1994, this industry was left behind. We are just asking that this industry be emigrated into the new South Africa.
There is hope as the Director General in Department of Trade and Industry, Lionel October, agrees that government cannot allow the status quo in the sugar industry to continue. He is the one who signed the order to recognize Smaller Farmers Association, SAFTA, last year. The DTI Portfolio Committee Chair John-Marie Fabs says they may have to crack the whip in the face of continued defiance by Cane Growers Association.
That's what you are requesting, are you not, DTI, so that you can come to us and say, we wrote the letter, we have now reiterated in writing that this must be implemented. Parliament supports that implementation as envisaged in the letter. Can we have a report back in this committee before we rise at the end of the year?
South African Sugar Association now has until the end of November to either recognize South African Farmers Development Association or have the resistance quashed by force.
It is both ironical and sad that 2 decades later, the fight for transformation is still raging and the resistance is blatant. The Cane Growers Association is digging in its heels in the face of a growing rebellion, while the South African Sugar Association is non-committal and has avoided direct answers to our queries. It is now up to the Department of Trade and Industry to diffuse this brewing revolt that may blow up. With Nasi Pisame in Cape Town and Solima Pumulo in Johannesburg, I'm Notando Ngosi in KwaZulu-Natal for ANN7.